Hello, welcome back to Gray the Gold Witch. Today we're doing a reading on the message meant to find you right now. And I really feel in my heart that I was meant to do this reading, so I'm excited to see what is revealed. So for the first pile we have Rose Quartz Heart. For this pile 2 we have Lepidolite. For pile 3 we have Labradorite. And for pile 4 we have another Labradorite crystal. But it's a butterfly. So yeah, take a second. Meditate on the piles. Do a random number generator if you feel led. And I'll see you in your pile. Hi pile 1, if you chose the Rose Quartz Heart. Ooh, I like when you move it. You see the interior of the heart. Okay, so we are going to look at what message is meant to find you right now. I have some pre-shuffled oracle cards, and we'll get into that and then look at tarot. And I'm just leaving this up to spirit, what wants to be said. So the first card we have is Keeper of Sharing. The next card we have is Wolf. We have Neptune. And then we have Family. Pile 1, this is about chosen family, about the people that you have in your life that you choose to get close to, that you choose to put in your pack. Wolves are very pack oriented. We talk about the lone wolf, wolves that go out on their own. And there's that independence to wolves, but there is also that communal protection. And I just find wolves to be fascinating. If you've been following me for a while, Women Who Run with the Wolves, the book, is my favorite book of all time. I will talk about that book till the end of the earth. And the thing is it's important to be conscientious and aware of who you protect, who you choose to be a part of your pack. There's spirit saying there are people, community around you that aren't meant to be a part of your pack, that come to you when it suits them, that aren't holding your hand through life. They're coming for something at different times, and you give a lot to the people around you. And this has been something that spirit has been trying to teach you, is that you aren't meant to give where you don't receive. Sharing goes both ways. And what I'm really seeing is that you are aware of this. Like, spirit has talked to you. Spirit has made it clear to you that you're meant to find your true people, that reciprocity. Oh my god, 37 on both of these cards. I'm just now noticing that. Yeah, okay, this is cool. So 37 and 37 are the same number. They're like numbers. And maybe you're meant to find people on the vibration that you are on. All numbers have a vibration. 37 adds to 1, which 1 is all about independence, which we can look at a pack or individual wolves in their independence. But on the flip side of that coin, family is equally as important. And you're meant to find people who are on this vibration that you are. We can call it 37, but it doesn't matter what number it is. It's whatever number you are or you vibrate at. And this isn't going into numerology life path numbers. This is more so like a communal space of protection and love. And what it seems to me is that there are people around you that you identify as part of your clan, that you give to, you overgive, you overlove, you abandon yourself a little bit in taking care of these people, in choosing these people, because you're exerting energy on something that gives you nothing back. And it's a pattern that I think you can identify throughout your life of doing this. And maybe you don't do this with all groups. Maybe it's specific circumstances in your life, like romantic relationship, or somebody vulnerable. Maybe there's specific, you might have boundaries in some areas of this, but not in all. But I think the root of it is this generalized giving and not receiving. I think that's been a pattern in your life. And my cat is getting into her treats. Luna, let's go get your treats, okay? So, yeah, I think you're having a hard time transforming into these kind of relationships that are balanced. I think that one thing that happens is you assume the relationship will transform. You hope that that person will give you something back. You see it in some ways, and it makes you hope for it, wish for it. You sit there dreaming of it when it will never come. And Spirit's really asking you to, when you think of members in your pack who gives to you, rather than you just take, or they just take, and also who fulfills you spiritually, because there's people in your life who don't give you this soul food. It's abundantly clear that the more you choose people in your pack that are supportive and you don't need to overgive to, there's balance here, the stronger you will get as an individual. Having these people in your life will strengthen you in numerous ways, and the people who you abandon yourself in some ways too, they just take energy from you. You lose power. So I'm really interested to see what ways in which these pack members give you power. And I'm already feeling it's like this spiritual power. It's spiritual expansion. All of these people together, holding hands, form this collective strength. It's like we're stronger with more people around us. There's this part of Women Who Run with the Wolves where two people, or someone holds up a stick and breaks it, and it was very easy to break, and they hold up two and they try and break it. It's hard. They weren't able to break it, and it's because two people is stronger than one. And it's important to realize that, and I think you realize that, but it needs to be these spiritual, grounded, loving relationships. And Spirit's really saying you have them, they're there. And to focus on quality, not quantity of relationship. Let yourself flow into these. There's this book called Bluettes that I've been reading, and it's a ton of different, I'd call them vignettes, and they're all numbered, and each one's a different insight. And that's what you'll be collecting. You'll be nourished in this way. Whenever you are with someone in your pack, you could almost, it's like you could write one of those vignettes. Interesting. I would definitely look into the book. She talks a lot about color theory and falling in love with the color blue, and talks about her experience and the experience of people in the past with the color blue. And yeah, it's fascinating. So let's look at what Tarot says. I'm also feeling like, don't rush it. Because right now I'm like, wow, that felt quick. Don't rush into relationships, feel them out. Wait and see what happens. Wait and see that give and take motion becoming a pattern within the relationship. Then you will know. Yeah, there's a lot of growth to be had here. A lot of growth in who you are, in your spirituality. I'm hearing it's enormous. So let's look at the tarot cards. What does pile 1 need to know? Whoa, okay, that was a lot. Okay, we have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse on the back of the deck. We have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, there's a lack mentality with people around you of feeling you don't want to lose people because you don't know if better will come in. You don't, and also an abandonment mentality. You felt abandoned by people in the past and you cling to a relationship now because you don't want to feel that abandonment. But these, like I said earlier, these relationships that aren't mutual, aren't giving the mutual, and they might be mutual, but they don't give the same amount of power, strength back to you in its own form. Those are things you shouldn't be clinging to, because it takes away your power, frankly, and Spirit wants you to maximize this power. Look who really gives you that soul fulfillment rather than that egoic burst of fulfillment. So then we have 3 of Wands. Something's coming towards you. Some sort of either person or community or an opportunity that leads to this soul group. It's almost like this girl has created a beacon of flowers. Kind of looks like a beacon of light over over this river, and it's almost like a smoke signal. It's almost like a lighthouse saying, here I am, come to me. So if you just are who you are, live in alignment with your soul, make sacrifices with things that weren't giving you what you need. It hurts to let things go. If your leg was poisoned and the only way you could survive is to cut it off, it would freaking hurt to cut it off. It would be so painful. Even though it saves your life, it would be so painful. And that's something I have to remember too, is letting go of things that are bad for me. It can still really hurt. And just because it hurts doesn't mean it's not right. So now we have 2 of Wands. Okay. So not only are these things coming towards you, but you're at a place now that you can identify them, identify what it looks like. You know the value system, you know what kind of person you need to bring in or you fits in this pack. But Spirit's saying it's important to vet, to vet them, not to just rush to be like, this person's it. Make sure that they have these qualities and aren't just projecting them or there's a part of Bluets where she talks about how an experience of an object, our experience of an object outside of ourselves might not be intrinsic to that object. As in, when we feel a certain way, when we live a certain experience with something else, that something else isn't necessarily that experience. We've projected it onto it. And so we can't identify that person or that thing isn't exactly that what we've created, our perspective is. And I think really realizing what this person, or really, this person's core values are, this person's metric system, how they value life, how they prioritize life. I think that's really important. So we have Ace of Wands. I think a good indicator for you will also be passionate people. People who have true passion towards their lives and towards just the lived experience. Like, these people are going to make you feel alive. Like, that's an indication that when you're around them, you feel this aliveness, you feel that sensory experience. It's, whenever life is just brighter. And when you don't feel that, that's a really big indication that you're in a situation that might not be right for you. I just heard Tale as Old as Time. Yeah, maybe there are situations here where you hope things that are duller, that don't have this aliveness, will become alive. I'm thinking of Beauty and the Beast, how he changes, he transforms into a person with more passion and aliveness when he had been very just complacent, done with the world. And I think that Spirit's really asking you to take things at face value and not project this change, this upliftment onto something that intrinsically might not be able to do that. So we have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, you'll know that you are cutting off the wrong things or choosing the right things based on your mental health. When you feel balanced and at peace, that's a big indication that you're with who you need to be. With people that, it's interesting, with who you need to be. Like, who you should be with, but also who can help you become your true self. That's the difference here. And there will be times of overthinking, of mental anxiety. Even with these good things, though, it's not like black and white. Like, you're going to still have this anxiety and fear and difficulty, but it's something that goes away. It's something that isn't constant. If things stay, that anxiety, that not fulfilling, unhappy energy, then that speaks volumes. That's an indication it's not right. But this anxiety, this stress that's inevitable, it's part of life. Okay, I just pulled 2, Wheel of Fortune, King of Pentacles. That's interesting. In my mind earlier, I was hearing what goes up must go down. And that totally reiterates this, having this anxiety even with a good thing. Like, you're gonna have bad phases of it. You're gonna have difficulty. You're going to struggle. And that's just part of it. And we can project all of this beauty onto what is right for us, what is fulfilling, what feels like a member of our pack. But there are going to be difficulties. The wheel will turn down. It's so funny. Spirit is bringing in, this first level of fulfillment, of identifying your pack, knowing people who give and take, and they're sharing, and there's that mutual growth there that you're meant to be very clear about and not keep things around out of fear. But then Spirit goes on to say there will be struggle here with what is right, and that's just how life is. And maybe sometimes it's easy to keep the first groups around, the first thing, because no matter what, you're gonna have difficulties with everything. So it's easy to kind of combine that first and second layer of difficulty and good. But you can choose in this first layer. Okay, super unfortunately, someone called me, and thank God I only had like a minute left of your reading, because I would have been so devastated having talked about all those things for me to have to redo this. After I talk about, separating one layer from another, separating what's right in the first layer, and accepting that there's still difficulty in what's right, the last card was the Page of Pentacles, and it really felt like the inner child coming out. Also, what cut me off was my mom called me, and what I talked about before I ended your reading was you're allowed to be innocent and have fun with this and not be feel like you have to prove something to the group that is right for you. I said something about how when you were a kid and you were on the playground, you knew exactly who you wanted to play with, exactly what you wanted to play, and you didn't overthink it. And I think that Spirit's asking you not to be super serious about this and just think about being on that playground and who you want to play with now. Instead of pile one. My phone died after all of this, so yeah, I was going to end it with mean kids on the playground. We'll leave it at this. So it was an honor to read for you, pile one. I will see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile two, if you chose the lepidolite crystal, this is your reading on the message meant to find you right now. So we have some pre-shuffled oracle cards. I have not seen them. And then we're going to look at tarot for what Spirit wants to tell you. Oh, this one kind of got lost in the sauce. I wanted to say this is really whatever Spirit wants to bring up to you. I'm just going to follow the lead of what's being presented. So the first card we have is the Bear in reverse. Neptune in reverse, Medicine Rites, and Keeper of Transformation. I'm noticing this blue color throughout. Looks like there might be a ring of light on this one, so I'm going to move it. So what I'm really seeing, pile 2, is that you're in a place right now where you feel kind of stuck. You feel, you know what accomplishments you want to make, but you don't see things changing in your life. You don't see how spirit's acting in your life. And you feel like recently you've had some sort of spiritual awakening, but you're not really seeing the fruits of it coming into your life. You feel like spirit still has you in hibernation mode as a bear when it's time for you to wake up and come out of hibernation into spring. And that's metaphorically, because at the time I'm filming this, it is very deep into winter. It's very, very cold. And in New York, it snowed like 12 inches or something ridiculous. And it's been frigid. The next week, it's not supposed to go above freezing. So yeah, there's been some radical acceptance I've had to have about that there's absolutely no controlling the weather. And I think that that's kind of the idea here too. There's a lot you can work with now that you don't see. I'm thinking right now, so these colors blue, first of all, Archangel Michael really reminds me of the color blue. He's an archangel of protection and justice. And I see that you are being protected here. Whatever's not moving forward is for a reason. Moon is eating right now, my cat, so I'm sorry if that's too loud. It's funny, I also mentioned this in the first pile, but there's a book I've been reading called Bluets, and it's by Maggie Nelson. And in it, she numbers these antidotes, these profound thoughts. And from what I gather, she'd written them all out on their own over various times and organized them into one cohesive work. So they'd been scattered, and she kind of developed a narrative through them. And that's something that I'm really feeling for you right now, is a call to write down these thoughts, write down what's going on in your mind, what's flowing through you, because I'm seeing there are, look at that, here and there's conscious contact with spirit that you're having, and you identify these thoughts that can be written down, and you're being asked to make use of that, because even though it's all asynchronistic, you don't really know where all of this is leading. It could turn into something like Bluets, where you arrange the pieces together and create something of a whole. So also with blue here, this is an obvious perception of blue, but we often say we're feeling blue, we're feeling down. And there's something here about you going through a period right now where you are feeling lower, where you are feeling worse than usual, where you are a bit in a slump. And you're not meant to be hard on yourself about that. I think identifying that is really helpful, because if we run away from the idea that we're blue or that we're suffering, we go into this kind of imbalanced place where we lose the ability to really analyze ourselves. Just an imbalanced place of not being able to see the simple thing that the reason you're feeling this way is because you're going through sadness. And maybe that's why you're perceiving things in your external environment not going your way. You're feeling stuck. And also the blueness, feeling sad and being stuck, don't have to be, one doesn't have to predate the other. It just, both can be true and both can be connected. It doesn't matter what came first, but yeah, right now you're being asked to do what you feel pulled to. Even if you feel like it's wrong, I feel like you might be in a mode of thought that transformation, that action, that the way Spirit presents in your life should be happening in one direct form. It should be happening in one way. And it looks like to me that it's trying to come in other ways, in more peaceful ways, but ways that I just feel like in our capitalistic society don't feel beneficial. And so it's hard to go after those, even if they would long-term be something beneficial. It's hard to see that in the heat of the moment. There's something about prayer here. Praying for clarity, praying for truth. Even just like going through daily life and speaking with your higher power, with the universe, having conscious contact. And also phases of life, we go through these healing waves, we go through this difficulty. And maybe there isn't something to overthink really heavily here. Like, why is this not working out? Why is this not working out? I think Spirit's kind of saying it doesn't have to be that deep. Let it be. You can just be sad. You can just be in a phase of stillness, and you don't have to psychoanalyze all the reasons why that's happening. You can just let it happen, let it flow through you, and coming out the other side, you'll experience what you've been craving. Don't force yourself to do anything that doesn't feel right. Even right now, I feel like I'm pushing for this tarot reading to happen. It doesn't even feel like what I'm meant to do. But it's like I want to act. It's like I want to do something. I want to create. But there's something internal I'm being asked to do too, going in internally, which might be journaling, meditating. I'm going to keep finishing this reading, or at least this pile, because I'm in it. I'm experiencing it. I'm with you now, but I'm not going to film the other piles today because it does feel like I am meant to go inwards, not create externally. I think there's some antidotes, some profound thoughts I need to write down. So let's see what's a message meant to find you right now. Okay, that's a lot. The Devil. There's always going to be something in our head fighting us, fighting what we want to do. In Women Who Run with the Wolves, she talks about the predator inside of us that wants to tell us we're not good at what we do. We can't achieve this. We're struggling because of this, making it personal, making you feel bad about yourself. And everyone experiences this. So don't feel as if you're terminally unique. And I think that might be part of this pain right now, is you feeling your experience, what you're experiencing right this second with external things not working out, is unique. Because I think a ton of people experience this and come out with clarity and new perspective. And I think accepting that this is a wave in life could be very helpful. Like, hey, I'm experiencing it too. So we have the Queen of Chalices. In my head, I just heard, what comes up must come down. Sometimes things are going to be blue. Blue. And we have to accept them for what they are, and accept reality for what it is, accept the snow outside for what it is. And not let it define the way you're living right now. Allowing yourself not to attach your identity to this difficulty happening right now, these things not working. Because you are this beautiful person. This doesn't say anything about who you are, your identity, your worth. It just says that things are not ideal right now. You're not feeling ideal right now. And separating that from your identity, kind of wearing your life like a loose garment. Like right now, it's maybe not the outfit you want to be wearing, metaphorically, but we always change outfits. You never wear the same outfit. Or you obviously, you know what I mean. You, every day, you change outfits unless you're kind of stuck in a funk. So we have the Lovers. Okay. There's some intimacy, some external connection that's going to help bring you out of this. I think part of this is isolating in your thoughts. And right here, I'm really seeing this interaction and connection with others that brings you some peace. Because living life in a vacuum is very hard, and I think you're going to feel stimulated in this way, and it will help you move out of this wave. So much of life is human interaction and connection, and it's so easy when you're in the thick of feelings to forget that. We have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, really, pile 2. This anxiety is leaving. This difficulty is leaving. This sadness. It's all just part of a wave. And you're not going to feel this anxiousness about your life and this stuckness very quickly. In a quick amount of time, you're going to feel movement. And so I think just waiting for that movement and embracing where you're at is really all you can do. It's all we can do. Nine of Chalices, yeah, you're going to, I don't want to say it's like the snap of a finger, but it kind of is. And feeling this difficulty, feeling stuck, and then some sort of blessing comes and you feel everything is how it needs to be. So don't try to force yourself to feel a certain way. Allow life to bring it to you right now. And obviously we need to take care of ourselves, to do self-care. But sometimes we have to accept how things are. Like, I can't control the weather right now. I can't control this cold. And I think that that's a really apt metaphor for this. Nine of Pentacles. I think because you've had this reflective time as well, you're better equipped to come into relationships with a level of, I hope I help Venom frame, clarity, and with a level of independence. And yeah, I see, because you've had this balance, this hibernation that you might not have really intended to have or wanted, it's bringing you on a level of deeper autonomy into these things. And it'll make you feel more confident and less reliant on the things outside of you, because you feel that stability in yourself. And finally, we have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah. I really feel like with reflection, you'll see why this, I mean, look how dark this turns into light. You had to go through a little bit of a dark phase, a little bit of difficulty, stagnancy, pain, to appreciate and live in this new reality of also understanding how you want to operate in it, because you've had this time away. And I see you really, connection being the main thing here that is really just gonna lighten your life, be so beautiful. It's being with others and connecting and having this love. And an example of all of this, if we really zoomed out, this could be not being in a relationship for a very long time and being really upset about that and feeling like you don't have power over it. And then one coming in when you're ready, and it just being so beautiful, and you being prepared for it because of this time you've spent away, for having that reflection and peace. And I just see this beautiful love coming in, this reciprocity. And this could be micro, this could be how you've been feeling this week and how you feel next week, but this could also be just how you felt about a certain aspect of your life. It could be many multitude of things, whatever connects with you here. Yeah, but now I feel really alive in this reading, and I think me feeling like I was forcing the reading might be like how you felt in the past, like you were trying to force things to work, and it just was so, you felt obstacles, and it might have made you feel like it would never happen. But those obstacles were there to bring this in. And you were worthy of it all along. That wasn't the point. The point was that you had to go through this suffering to be prepared for this joy. I was talking to a woman yesterday. I had a meeting, and we were talking about how you can't appreciate, we were talking about weather. You can't appreciate the summer, like nice weather, without like this harsh weather. Like it's very easy to be like, oh, it's so warm, like I wish we had coldness. And then it just, you can't really appreciate something without its opposite having happened, the darkness and the light. So I think that's kind of what this reading is saying, which like, I mean, it sucks to go through this snowstorm and not be able to control it, which I'm really glad that that's a metaphor here, because I feel like it's so real. Like we just can't control these things, but the snow will melt and we will find what we're looking for. So yeah, I hope this resonates. I'm really glad that I continued through with this reading, because I did feel for a second like blocked a little. And I think that's how you feel about moving into this chapter. You kind of want to give up on it. You don't want, you're kind of just like over it. You feel blocked. You don't want to move forward. But if you just push through, if you push through this uncomfortability and fear, you'll find this beauty. So yeah, pile 2, this is what I'm getting. You are so lovely and precious, and yeah, I will see you soon. Hey, pile 3, if you chose this beautiful labradorite crystal, then this is your reading on the message meant to find you right now. Okay, before we start, there's a few things. I was kind of feeling just, this is silly, but a little upset that this isn't polished all the way around, that it's cut a little differently, which is so funny because this is like one of the most beautiful labradorite crystals I've ever seen, and how it moves and how the light comes in. So there's something about perfectionism here that I think might be a little debilitating to you right now. I also have been thinking about seeing something in the wrong perspective and really feeling it's the right one. Just looking at something in a way that doesn't help, and it's not even a good perspective on it. I don't know, something like this. So we are going to look at the tarot oracle cards I've pre-drawn, and then we are going to look at tarot for the message meant to find you. So we first have the shark. And we have lightning coming to light. We have extraction. And we have Keeper of Transformation. My head, I just did it my way. Okay, the message meant to find you right now is that you're extracting some fears and insecurities from your life. I think you do sometimes look at things in a way that disheartens you. Like, one thing I'm seeing is feeling like you have to be perfect. Another is feeling like you have to work hard to deserve something or someone. This is feeling like you have to stay small whenever you're around certain things. I think there is a moment of truth here happening in your life where you're going through an experience that is bringing all of this to light, bringing exactly these things that still have work, you still have work to do in extracting them from yourself. And right now you're in a phase of this where you're actually extracting these things. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to let go of these patterns we've been in for a long time and feeling like we need to do it perfectly. There's something about letting yourself be, like letting yourself be who you are and shine as you are, and not feeling like you need to remove anything from this. I think this is in an area of your life where you want something to happen, but there is a way that you in the past have abandoned yourself here to make this work. So what Spirit's really teaching you right now is complete choice for yourself, not abandoning yourself in search of something. Spirit is saying this is the time you were meant to work on these things. Like, this isn't coming out of the blue. There was a time in your life that you were meant to experience events like this so you could practice healing, practice denying the self-abandonment. And really, I think this is heating you up too. I think you feel just very alert about treating yourself with this care. And a lot of it's going to happen naturally. And so Spirit doesn't want you to feel like everything has to be action. Often we think we need to do everything, or at least we need to do things to get results. But there's a non-action here that Spirit's really asking you to have, in not trying to force an outcome and not trying to make something happen the way you want it to. This is trusting that it will come in the way it's meant to. And you're meant to be honest with yourself if you're in imbalance there. And yeah, there's something about just being independent, doing things your own way, doing things in a way that aligns with you and empowers you and, elevates makes you really feel your worth. Anything that makes you lose that sense of worth is not meant for you at all. And so that's a very simple indicator of what to move away from, what is wrong. And these tools, you need, if you were wondering what the main lesson of this period is, it's extracting these insecurities that you have to fit in a box for this, that you have to be a certain kind of person. Spirit's going to show you all you have to do is be who you are intrinsically. You don't have to work for this. You just be. And Spirit's going to make it possible for you to find that relief. And this is 4-3. I always see 1-4-3 as love you. I love you. And I take that as like the universe giving me that warmth. I do want to say, I do think angel numbers might be coming up for you right now too. And that's an indication, I think, of just have peace right now. This is overseen by something bigger than you. Also, I I really feel this urgency that you have, that you think things need to go fast, and you're meant to let them slow down. Yeah, there's letting go here is a really, really big part of this, and accepting yourself and how you go about things. And there's also a few things that have happened during this reading. People outside of me revving their cars, going up and down the stairs in my apartment building, and it's so frustrating. I don't want them to do that, but I have no power over them doing that. And I think that that's another thing that you're really meant to be aware of, is there's people in your life who aren't going to do what you want them to do. They're not going to do what's aligned with what you're trying to do here in uplifting yourself. And it's more of letting go of that, letting go of the fact that you don't have control over that. And those situations are coming up for you to learn and practice this surrender. Also, they just happen. Life is events out of our control, but we can control how we respond. And so I think that that's really a practice you're meant to have as well. And knowing that when people make you feel like you need to abandon yourself, they're in some way abandoning themselves. The truth, you have to keep in mind the truth of how people treat you is how they treat themselves. And I think you'll be really observing that in people around you. And rather than looking at how things perceive you, you're looking at things and seeing them for what they are. You're flipping the narrative. Yeah, so I see this as being a very empowering time. And I feel like you're in the thick of it right now. This isn't something you're going to learn. This is something you are actively learning. So, message meant to find you is that people show who they are through their actions. And I think you're meant to continue to observe that and extract these self-abandoning beliefs, these feelings. So let's look at tarot cards. Message meant to find pile 3. Two of Cups in reverse. So yeah, you might be practicing this a lot through relationship right now. Trying to fight to make things work that aren't meant to work, letting go of them. Or trying to working hard to make things work when you're just meant to be passive. I think there's a way you navigate your worth in these connections that you really need to separate. Separate these people. There's a little bit of a codependency on what these people feel, on how they act, and it has no bearing on who you are. And yeah, I feel like you are an individual meeting with another individual, fully formed, self-actualized, and you're meant to stay that way instead of coming into them, letting their feelings affect how you feel about yourself. Let's see what else Spirit has. Ooh. We have the King of Wands on the back of the deck. You're meant to be self-motivated here in your life and not feel like you have anything to prove. Yeah, let's look. So we have the 8 of Wands. Whenever you're craving connection with another person, or like for people to contact you, for people to walk towards you, this is also an indication that you're craving contact with yourself, reflection with yourself, journaling time with yourself, checking in with yourself. You crave it because you're associating this external experience with your internal experience, and that's completely misguided, because you can't choose how other people act. We have the Star. You're such a lovely, beautiful person, and I think you're seeing yourself in a smaller light in these relationships. And it's interesting because it feels like Spirit is saying maybe this isn't what they're doing, maybe this is how you're coming at it, where you are projecting onto them this ability to define your worth, decide who you are. And it's really important that you are confident in yourself and you decide this. You don't let anyone else. You are this Star. Their perception is not, and in no way affects that. And I think that's very liberating. And I think knowing that you don't need conversation with them, that's not what you're craving. You're craving it with yourself. I think that'll be really helpful. 7 of Swords. Yeah, this almost feels like lying to yourself about perception. Like, I think you're looking at it in a very generalized way. Like, they think this, so that means this about me. And it's so much more nuanced than that. Like, when people perceive you, they're perceiving you through all of the experiences and thoughts and perceptions they have. And it's so skewed and doesn't reflect you at all. And I think that's what you'll really be practicing is, I am this beautiful person regardless of externality, what happens outside of me. The Moon, the Star, and the Moon. So I think that spending time focusing on the natural world, the universe itself, will help you find this self-reliance. I'm thinking of Rainier Wilk in Letters to a Young Poet says, when people fail you, stay close to the moon, to the stars. Like, they will never fail you. To nature. So I think there's something here about grounding your worth to these things rather than to any outside fallible thing. Like, that's making someone else's opinions your higher power, and that's just not how it should be for your own, like, for your own well-being. So I've been sharing it. Don't work for this. Don't move, don't work. Spirit's saying that these experiences right now, you're not meant to do anything. Non-action is your action. Seeing how other people come towards you rather than trying to control it or direct it. Ace of Chalices, and when you do this, you'll find this internal love and external love. So when you feel like you want things to be happening, check in with yourself. You know, have that conversation with yourself and remember what is a constant in your life. And remember, there are these beautiful things, but they can't come to you in this beautiful way unless you are embodying that. And that's kind of the paradox of it. So I see you really coming to peace with this self-refinement, with your worth, with not letting anything externally that happens to you affect that. So you're doing great. And I think this is just a reminder that we're human, and like, these experiences happen. We control. I'm thinking one of my friends has that quote about being the captain of their ship. They're like the pioneer of their destiny. And I think that that's something, that autonomy, that independence is something that's really going to liberate you. Yeah, okay. This is what I'm getting for you, Pile 3. It was an honor to read for you. I will see you very soon. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, if you chose the Labradorite butterfly, This is your reading on the message you need to hear right now. I love this crystal. It's got kind of a skull on it, and it's cool because butterflies to me are all about transformation, becoming a new state, living in a new state, and both of those kind of metaphorically mean that. So we're going to look at pre-shuffled oracle cards, and then we're going to go into the tarot. So the first oracle card we have is the Lamb. We have Alchemical Wedding. And then we have Sharing and Receptivity. Okay, I like that there's a 37 and a 1 here. The message you need to hear right now, Pile 4, is that you deserve all of the good things coming in. Right now, I think you're dealing with insecurity, maybe some self-criticism, just being really hard on yourself when you are this pure, like this Lamb is like the pure card to me, like a pure heart. And it's like you have this beautiful, pure heart, but you're not being receptive to things that come in because you feel like you don't deserve them. And you would give the shirt off your back. I'm seeing that you are so freaking loving and would do anything for the people you love and for people that you see suffering. But it's almost as though you feel like you have to suffer, that is your plight. And it almost feels like you feel this way because you feel you've done bad things, or you've done things that you feel shame about. You're not seeing yourself truthfully. You're seeing yourself with self-hatred. It's like you would never ever feel this way about someone outside of you. If you're talking bad about yourself, if you look at another person, you would never ever even think those things about the other person. But it's being caught in your head. It's like you're just attacking yourself rather than being receptive. Because the thing is you deserve all of the beautiful things that we can have in life. You have such a beautiful heart where you don't have to take on everyone else's burdens or the burdens of the world. You're allowed to be receptive. You're allowed to have good things given to you. And I see there's something that's coming. It's trying to enter your life and become a part of it. Kind of merge with your life. Or I'm thinking of a chain, how they all connect. It's like you have a new chain that wants to connect to the circle of your life. And it's almost as though you're like, no, I don't need to put this chain there. I deserve what my chain bracelet looks like. And that's just so far from the truth. And that's so funny. Snakes could make up a chain. Spirit's advice here is to look at yourself like you're looking at someone else. Because when you look at them, you feel they're inherently deserving of love, inherently deserving of beauty coming into their life, just for their existence, just for their sacredness as a human. And you deserve this too. You deserve this love. You have a lot to offer people. You have a lot to offer others. And I think you've directed a lot of difficulty inwards, a lot of just telling yourself things that aren't true about yourself, like that you aren't worthy or that you aren't helpful. It's like you're fused to these thoughts, and I think that really defusion is so important here. Looking at these thoughts and separating yourself from them and telling yourself they're not true, because they really aren't. But when you're in this cycle for so long and it perpetuates, it can be hard to take yourself out of it. But you're just as deserving of this beauty as anyone else. You're deserving of this balance. Because not only is this beauty entering your life, but you're giving back to this beauty. It's a harmonious situation, whatever it may be. And you have so much beauty to give. I'm just thinking, some of the people with the purest hearts have the worst, or like the most difficult demons, just hauntings. And it's not your fault that you have these struggles with yourself, with accepting goodness, but it's really important that you are aware of that, aware that the way you perceive that is wrong, and that you are deserving of these things coming into your life, these things being a part of your life, and that you have something so beautiful to offer. You completely underestimate yourself in all forms of the word. Your soulfulness radiates. You're such a beautiful light. And you allow that light to go outward, but you don't allow it to go inward. You don't enjoy it for yourself. Yeah, there's a self-love that is crucial here. And a lot of this is changing your mindset. Acknowledging the thoughts of that you've built to be true. Like, for example, I am worthless. I am not enough. And because the thing is you have so much worth and you are enough, but you are attached to those thoughts, and they're destroying your happiness, your way of living. And you're just so beautiful and deserve that beauty reflected in your environment, but it's like you don't think you deserve that beauty reflected. So I think right now, the big test in your life, the big thing going on, is you being receptive to that beauty and realizing you're a part of it. This light is a part of you. You are not separate from it. You deserve all of the beautiful things coming in. And this takes time to, really internalize this way of perceiving your life. But once you do, life is just so much more beautiful, so much more happy. Because if you're looking at everything from a lens of self-criticism, you're going to suffer. So, yeah, I think when beautiful things come in, know that you're a beautiful thing coming in as well. And you belong here. And with this, I'm just really seeing balance, receptivity, sharing, an equal give and take. You give of yourself so freely. I think something's coming in that gives the same, that is able to give what you give. And that might be also part of this difficulty, is you gave so much of yourself but didn't receive, and then you told yourself the story or narrative that you didn't deserve to receive. But you just hadn't found the thing that could give you what you need. And you found it now. You are finding it as life continues, and you're just meant to receive it, because you'll give it to it too. It's what, there's a story in Women Who Run with the Wolves about this match girl who she has these beautiful matches that light up, and she sells them for less than they deserve. The people around her don't see the beauty in them. And the point of this is that the match girl needs to leave that environment, leave that difficulty, and go to an environment that empowers her and sees the worth of those matches. And I feel like you've gone to an environment, you've moved away from environments like that and have found an environment that sees your worth, but you're still treating yourself with the narrative of the past. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I just see so much beauty trying to enter your life, and you're meant to realize that beauty is you as well. Beauty, you're aligning with this beauty. It's not like it's coming in and you don't deserve it. The reason it's coming in is because it's meant for you. So let's look at the tarot. Yeah, I think deep breathing, meditating, coming back into your body will be helpful. I think abstraction can lead to misery, and maybe getting back into your body will cause you more peace and more of a relationship with yourself and more care for yourself. So what does pile 4 need to hear? Well, that's a lot of things. So we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Don't force yourself into this process. Don't be hard on yourself or do things impulsively out of feeling you deserve them in a negative way. Hold out for this. This isn't something that is like a switch that flips, that everything's great. This is dedicated practice, like the Knight of Pentacles, steady steps over time. Esteemable acts come from, or like getting self-esteem comes from small, esteemable acts over time. You just really have to commit to that path of finding self-love and self-betterment. And I see that happening for you. I really see that happening for you if you let it. So we have strength. Come on, we have strength. You have the strength necessary for this. You might feel like this would be too hard, this too difficult, but you are completely capable of overcoming this. It's a mindset, and you're going to be roaring at these demons, this difficulty. And yeah, the more you do that as well, the more you see your strength, the more you feel protected in yourself because you see you can take care of yourself. We have the Ace of Pentacles. You might focus on what is received and what is not, what is given to you and what is not, and focus less on, you don't focus on what's given, you focus on what didn't come. And this is a perspective shift as well. Like those things didn't come for a reason. It's so important to focus on what did and why it came in. And I really believe rejection is protection, like trusting that things don't work out because they would cause more suffering. And I think focusing on what comes in. I know this is so common, but writing a gratitude list, focusing, it's really like life is a matter of focusing on what perspective you focus on. Like there's a good wolf and a bad wolf within us, and we choose which one we feed and which one gives us strength. And focusing on what leaves, that's what causes the suffering. The Hermit card's about going inwards. I think Spirit's asking you to redirect And because there is a self-centeredness that comes with this self-hatred. And I think moving outside of yourself, seeing how you can help someone else, will bring you a lot of peace too, knowing that you can give. And I think that will really sustain you. The Five of Swords. I feel like the problem is you're in an inner battle with yourself. You're constantly fighting yourself, and Spirit's saying that doesn't need to happen anymore. You're on the same team as yourself, and I think that that's something that is going to be like you're in the same lion pack with yourself, and it's not like you're an enemy to yourself. You are on the same side. So we have the Ten of Chalices. Even in changing this perspective and in living with self-love, there will be difficulty. There will be things that don't work out. There will be things that you thought would be fulfilling that aren't. And that's a thing of the human condition. Like, we're going to learn as we go on that something we really thought was for us, that was our dream, isn't for us. And that doesn't mean that there aren't other dreams out there. It just means we're being redirected. And I think redirection is something, things not working out, finding something new, not giving up just because one thing didn't work out. I think that that's like what Spirit's asking you to practice. Yeah, even with friendships, with relationship that doesn't work out, with that heartbreak, with that pain of losing things, not being completely fixated on the fact that that has gone, or that because that has gone, you won't find other happiness, that there's other things out there for you. And yeah, this goes in so many places, in dreams, in relationship, and just opportunity. Like, when things don't work out, you're being redirected, and focusing on that thing is what limits you. So we have Justice in reverse. We are looking, you're this very pure lamb, this very pure soul, and dealing with injustice in the world is just heartbreaking. That there are things we can't explain, that there are these difficulties, these horrible things that happen outside of us. And you see that, and I think in some way you subconsciously internalize it. And that is what Spirit's asking you to do, to let go of suffering, because you're addressing it in the wrong way. And there's a way to address it that will give you so much more peace and beauty and allow you to sustain your life. Not taking these things as it's your fault, because it's not your fault these things didn't work out. There are lessons. Sometimes things don't work out. It's not your fault. You didn't fail yourself. You were moved to something else. You're moved on. Yeah, I think you really focus on the mistakes you made and things that don't work out, but things aren't meant to work out. We're meant to move and flow and fight for this openness to new coming in. Yeah, Pile 4, you are beautiful, and I see beautiful, lovely new things coming in, and I think it's a matter of letting go of what you've told yourself about the things that don't work out. You fuse to some thoughts that, like, you're worthless or you aren't enough. Those things are not true. The truth is that it wasn't meant for you. And sometimes it's inexplainable, but that's the truth. Is sometimes, like, we can't really justify it. It's just like sometimes things aren't meant to work out, but that puts you in a place for other things too. And just because one thing doesn't work out doesn't say anything about your worth or your aptitude. It's just what happens in life. So this is what I'm getting for you, pile 4. I just love you is like what I feel like saying. So yeah, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or night, and I will see you soon. Bye.